everyone. It's been a few months since we've had the chance to connect with you. So I thought we'd record a little video from the SLT to our community as we sort of end this time of pandemic, as we start thinking about entering into some level of normality. Maybe not quite yet, but we'll get there. And as we look towards the summer ahead. So it's great to be able to be together. I don't know if each one of you just wants to say hello.
Hello.
Yes, great to see our people again.
It is great to, to be present with one another, virtually these past months, and even to see some faces individually, and as we start coming back together, to be able to be with one another in person. So I just wanted to start off our conversation today with just talking about what the experience has been like, as we sort of bookend one chapter of this pandemic, just to look back at the past 3 months and your experiences individually with what we've gone through, or some of the things that you've been involved in.
I just keep thinking what a strange and unique experience it has been, like this worldwide kind of experience of being in lockdown. And I think I was very blessed in that I wasn't affected in a lot of the negative ways that some people may have experienced. And I really appreciate some of the struggles that were going on in the world. So there's lots kind of to think through during lockdown, but some of the positive things that I think I got to live through is just a time of rest in a way, like mentally. It's just less busy, more time to think and reflect and pray, and then also to see some very ingenious kind of innovative ways that people were connecting with one another, especially in ministry, and working with the students to see their efforts and staying connected and growing in their faith. So that was really, really cool to be a part of and to see. And yeah, just a very unique experience, I think, in ministry, something I will never forget.
Yeah. I was saying to the team that just as there was a sense of grieving at the beginning of the pandemic, when everything changed and there seemed like there was so much loss and newness and transition, and how are we going to make things work out? And now at this end of it, it's like I'm grieving that quiet time that Rachel was referring to, and it became the normal. I guess as humans, we're kind of resilient, more resilient perhaps than we think we are, because we just deal with what we have to deal with. So yeah, it was an interesting time. It was so wonderful to be able to continue to connect with people through online means. And it did affect my congregation. 3 of our sisters who were senior and had other complicating issues, they did die from COVID. And one of our residences was under quarantine for quite a long time. And there was a sadness to that. And so, yeah, it's been a very blessed experience, but it's been a very challenging experience as well.
Thanks, sister.
I think for me, it's kind of really been an opportunity to advance some things. I really like technology, and I really like the ability to try and do things in different and really efficient ways. And fortunately, I am among one of those who is easier adaptable to digital means, and it's given me a better opportunity to sort of pull everybody along with me. We've kind of had to deal with that and move things online, and yeah, everyone's had to come along for the ride. I've enjoyed it.
Including the 3 of us.
Yep.
Pulling along and saying, Father, you do this, or sister, you should be on this. But it's been really great. You've done such incredible work. Without you during this time, Erin, I think we would have been lost. So the effort and work every week, we are all working, full time, maybe even overtime hours. As much as it might be a step back from busyness, it kind of transitioned to it, as you said, sister, just a different reality of life, and kind of settling into that for what it was, and being able to minister in really new ways. And for me, that's the thing that stands out from this time, is the exciting kind of shift, or the invitation, the Lord has given us to enter into a different reality of being a church, being church, and connecting with one another. And this hasn't happened any time in recent memory, and certainly even 100 years ago with the Spanish flu, it wasn't wasn't the same because we didn't have these means, to be able to
Mhm.
connect as we have. And so what an exciting moment in this modern time to be able to think of new ways to be present, and indeed maybe even to not just relegate those to experiences of the pandemic. I mean, we've had conversations as a team, a lot of the lessons that we've learned or avenues that we've pursued, we really want to see how we can keep those going. So it's been difficult to dig into all of that, even for myself, even as Aaron's been trying to drag me along. But it's also been exciting. Um, this time of pandemic, has also been a time to dig into ministry for me. Individual connections with people, online spiritual direction, counseling, those kind of things that I've been doing. Certainly, I didn't anticipate how crazy the Cornerstone project was going to be, and just the amount of time that was going to take up from my schedule, going over things. And so that's been a big thing that I've been occupied with, and the team knows all about some of the challenges of that, but also the grace and blessing of really just looking forward to all of this growing and developing, and being able to welcome people back when it's all completed, especially with our students in the winter months. But we don't want to think about winter too soon. It's just the start of summer. So that's when we're looking forward to. So, in the midst of all of that, and then just recording Mass, each week, thinking of reflections, it's a really different time to preach without people coming to the church. I tend to procrastinate. So knowing there's a deadline at Mass time for getting the homily together can help. Anyway, so all of this has been great, and exciting times as we've gone through this pandemic together as a community, as a senior leadership team, for sure. We also wanted to include in this video some conversation about the transitions that are to come, and there's a number of transitions we're looking towards, not always looking forward to as a team, and we'll get to that near the end. But the first transition that's really exciting is being able to come back to the church, especially come back to receiving the Lord in the Eucharist, even as he's been nourishing us through this time, to really be able to experience the power of that sacrament. So Sister Mary, I was hoping you might touch base a little bit about what our transition to opening the church has looked like or will look like, any things that you'd like to mention.
Well, just on a very practical, logistical level, we put up lots of signage. So we hope it's as clear as possible, so that when you come into the church, you can feel safe and welcomed at the same time as well. So,
I think we should win an award, Sister Mary. We honestly, I've seen lots of churches, how they've done it. And we have some beautiful signage, and it's all really clear. So thanks to all those who are involved in that. And I know, Sister Mary, you headed up a team to take care of so much of this.
Yeah, and Aaron designed it, and then the team, you were there too, Father, like putting all the things on the pews, and we tried to do it in a way that it will last, because we don't know how long we're going to be under these kind of requirements. So the first thing to say is we wanted to make it as safe as possible. We wanted to make it as welcoming as possible, but and we had a nice little number come on Sunday, and I think they were happy to come back and happy to be in the church, and it was a sense of coming home. And we know that some people aren't too sure. They're going to take their time, and that's okay as well. But it's just that sense of being able to receive the Eucharist again and be together as a community will be so wonderful. And thanks to those who responded to be a team to clean. So we're sanitizing during the week. We're sanitizing on the weekend. We have allotted sections of the church during the week. So it's been great to have people. Even after the funeral on Thursday, there was a team of people that came in to help clean. So I'm very grateful to those who have volunteered to help make it a safe place.
Yeah, and I would say, we are curious to see what the next weeks are going to look like in terms of people's comfort to come back. But to know, at this point, we're not receiving, overwhelming numbers where we're really needing to be super close to one another, or where there is, a lot of close contact. Numbers wise, we have lots of room in the church. So, anybody who needs, well, obviously all of us are keeping good distance from one another. But that there is room there. So not to feel like you're going to be sitting right next to somebody just because you're coming back to church. especially now. We have lots of capacity to be able to spread out and be present as we're even present to one another. That's great. Thanks, Sister Mary.
Rachel, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I had like a layperson tip that I thought of yesterday. I was thinking when, because for a lot of us, we come to Mass and maybe like we're trying to be there on time or whatever, and we're used to that mentality of kind of just getting in and getting in our seat. And I think, and it can be overwhelming to be reading signs and trying to figure it out. And I think just go slow, just walk slow, read the signs, take your time to get to your pew. Obviously, try if you're running late, it can be a little bit more stressful, but I would just encourage people, just go slow. And then that way, that you're doing the best that you can, and you have the presence of mind to be able to process, kind of this, whatever you need to in figuring it out. So that's my layman's tip.
Yeah, that's very helpful, Rachel. And look down.
Yeah, look down.
We're so used to looking out when we come into church.
That's
you
right.
need to look down because that's where all the signs are.
Yep.
And after you come once or twice, we've seen this during the week. Those who have come a number of times, you know the routine. You walk in. It's like you said, it's transitions, right? We transitioned into this pandemic, and now we're just in that transition out. And so it's going to take a little bit of patience to get into the routine of what this looks like. But we'll get there, and it is possible to enter into this reality together.
And it's so lovely to see people in the church.
Yeah, and the gift when they come forward for the Eucharist, especially, being able to receive the Lord, who really has nourished us in this time for sure, through scriptures and through the online masses and through so many different things, testimonies and other things that we've been doing as a community, and maybe you found outside of our community. But really, the Eucharist is the heart of our faith, the source and the summit. So to be able to receive that and even be reminded, what a spiritual grace and consolation and moment of blessing that is. So the other transition we're looking forward to is just ending, sort of wrapping up in a certain sense, the communications that we've been having during this time of pandemic and during the pastoral year, the ordinary kind of time for us, even though it's not been ordinary these past 3 months. And so the kind of transition is, as we enter into summer, what are our communications? What are the avenues that we should anticipate in July and August to be able to connect with? So Aaron, if you just want to talk, a little bit maybe about some of the avenues that you've been pursuing, or some of the things that what it's going to look like in these summer months.
Well, we've really been building up our presence and our engagement on the social media side with our Facebook and our Instagram. And I would highly encourage everybody to follow our Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter and whatever your social diet includes, include us, because I plan on keeping up with those pretty regularly. Our newsletter is going to reduce in frequency slightly. We've been, sending it out every Saturday at 9 a.m. And we're going to move to once a month over the summer months as things slow down. So expect something around mid-July and mid-August, and then it'll pick up with increased frequency in September. And so that's what to look forward to there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll continue to include, I think some of the features that we've had in terms of little videos, other things just to help to keep us connected, even if it's less frequent, that our life does continue. And these are great ways that we'll be able to maintain that, even if it's less frequent over these summer months. So the last area of transition, and this is the sad one, is that today, we're recording this on Friday, June 26th, is the last day for our great member of the senior leadership team. That is our campus minister, Rachel D'Souza. And so, Rachel, we are very sad to be losing you today. We've said this over and over the past weeks. It doesn't feel real. I can't believe that indeed today is the day, and it won't hit me till next Monday or Tuesday. It's been such a blessing to have Rachel with us the past year. She's covered the maternity leave for Kathleen LeBlanc, who is with us for a couple of years. And so the contract position, and Kathleen, as we put a video out a few months ago, Kathleen's maternity leave has come to an end, and she's decided to be able to stay at home and continue to raise little Noah and all the blessings and busyness of family life. So Rachel's been with us a little bit extended because of Kathleen's leaving, but now comes the time to say goodbye. So Rachel, if you want to share maybe a little bit about what the experience has been like being with us. I know we had another video on that, but if you want to say anything, and then just any other words you want to share as we say goodbye to you as a leadership team and as a community.
Father, yeah, I mean, I just want to echo that it really doesn't feel real for me either. Like, it's been, in a great way, it's been busy right up until the end. So it's sort of, there is a sense of closure. Like, this video in a sense is part of that. And even when you just said today's my last day, it kind of hit me a little bit more than it has this whole week. And so I think I'm going to be processing on Monday as well. It's going to start on Monday for me, but it has been such an incredible privilege. It really was the Lord's work in my life to bring me here. And it's just been a joy every step of the way. And I feel like I've learned so much from everybody on this team. I've learned so much from the students, from the other community leaders that I've had the privilege of serving with. And I think there are definitely these relationships that, are built on the faith and built on our love for Christ, which is so different, I think, than relationships built on sort of like mutual interests and things like that. There's just a depth and a deeper sense of family and like brotherhood and sisterhood, in these kinds of relationships where Jesus is really at the center. And I think that is something I've just experienced all over the map. It's been all of my relationships, I feel like, in this ministry and in this work have been those kinds of relationships. So what a gift and what a treasure that's been for my life. And I'm just so grateful. And I think I'm happy in a sense. Like, I was like, oh man, I'm leaving in June, and it's been tough because the transitions didn't happen the way we would have wanted. I'm sure, we had plans to have maybe someone else in my role by now before COVID and all these things, but I trust that God knows what he's doing. And when I look at our team, the senior leadership team, and I look at the student leaders that I've had the privilege to work with and the other people that I know in this community, I know that God has got this and everybody here, and that we're not going to, we're going to keep growing. And I'm so excited to see that happen. So I even though I won't be working anymore, I'm definitely like, I'm going to be on all the socials that Aaron's talking about, and and praying hard for everybody here, because I think that God is doing something very special with us. Because I think people here are responding to his grace, and Jesus, he chooses us, but so often we reject him. And I think it delights him so much when we respond to his love. And I think so many here have done that and are doing that. And that's why it's such a special community and such a special place. So yeah, I have a lot to be grateful for and a lot to process, I think, when I not coming in on Monday, coming in on Zoom on Monday. So just thank you. I just want to just say thank you to everybody for your witness and for your faith and your love and support and just helping me. So many people have helped me in this role, the three of you, students, other people that I've already spoken about. I've just been supported in so many ways. So thank you. Yeah, I'll stop there.
And you continue to have that support as you go forward. It's been such a beautiful time to have you with us. Do you want to say a little word maybe about what's next for you?
Sure, yeah. To be honest, I haven't even been thinking about that a whole lot because I just am so wholehearted. That's just my personality. It's not a virtue. It's just my nature. So I haven't been thinking a whole lot about what's next. But what is next is I'm going to be completing my master's of divinity is what I'm currently enrolled in part-time, but I think I'm actually going to be switching to an MTS, which is a shorter program, and looking perhaps to apply for doctoral studies after that. So that's a whole long journey. So I would really appreciate prayers as I discern that and discern exactly what it is the Lord wants me to do in my studies. And if it is his will, then that's the plan. And if it's not his will, then I will discover that as I go about the next steps in that journey. So yeah, so I'll be studying at TST in Toronto, and my home college is going to be St. Mike's. So I'll be a student, just like the students that I've been working alongside this last 16 months. So it'll be great.
That's great. Thanks so much, Rachel. And I'm sure our paths will cross in the years to come. I guess I wanted to end today then just with a thank you, to the team who have done so much on our community's behalf. Speaking as pastor, as chaplain, what an incredible gift it's been to work with this team and with so many other leaders who have contributed these past months, and indeed who are stepping forward and in such great numbers. Looking towards what the next months will look like, what the next year will look like. We have a great team that surrounds us, and I think that's what fills my heart with the most encouragement and joy. That it's not just the four of us. This work really is the work of the Spirit, as you kind of alluded to, Rachel, and that so many are responding and maybe even are hearing this message and thinking, oh, maybe I could do some more. And obviously, the contributions of the church, as a whole, are so important. So we just thank those who have been involved and those who will continue to step forward into new roles and contributions. What are you guys looking forward to in the summer? I don't know. Maybe just to end on a light note, is there something that's really exciting for you? I know our people are thinking maybe summer vacation looks a little different for them, but what's in your own hearts or lives for the next month or two?
Well, I'm supposed to be going to Calgary in late August for family to visit with all my family that's out west. So I'm still not sure if that's going to happen, but I'm still enjoying thinking about it. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's just fun to think about.
I don't know if my dad would appreciate this, but my dad's turning 60 this summer. So I'll be his birthday in Canada Day, actually the same day. So we'll be celebrating that next week. So yeah, I'll be on an emotional roller coaster basically next week with my dad and my work and all of it. But I am looking forward to that. And I think maybe we're going to go to a cottage, because there's some options and opportunities there now that there weren't before. So some family time. And I'll be studying for my GRE, which is not a fun thing, but those are my summer plans.
I'm just enjoying the warm weather. I know it's not for everybody, but I enjoy it a lot. I'm hunkering down. I'm still staying pretty socially distanced from everybody, and my family is far away in Arizona anyway. So my bubble is staying small, and we're just gonna enjoy the pool. It's gonna be great.
There's even been a few days during the working week that Erin's been saying, I want to get this done.
I gotta wrap this up. I gotta get in the pool.
We should say a shout out to your family, because they've had to share their living space with our
us. Yeah,
I suppose it's been fun to be to have them there.
For myself, this summer, I guess the thing that I'm most looking forward to is being able to get away on a little motorcycle holiday trip. We were going to do something larger, maybe through the States, but obviously with restrictions in place right now, and with, to be honest, difficult schedules. I had 4 priest friends that we wanted to go somewhere together, and lining all of us up post-pandemic and in the midst of summer wedding season and this and that has been rather difficult. So with all that in mind, we'll be taking maybe about a week and a half trip in early August. So that's really exciting. And then the reality is, the next months are going to be busy work-wise, with trying to continue to manage and plan for the fall with, leaders in our community, especially with the students and the difference in ministry there online. hiring, for the position in campus ministry, managing the building project. But those are also exciting things. It's the things that will continue to bring life, in our ministry, which is such a joy for me to be able to be here in the midst of. I've been here now 5 years, which means I'm here now as long as Father Joe was and Father Peter. And so, this feels like home and such a privilege to be able to be father in this community in so many different ways, to bring my own life, my motorcycle trips and my, unique way of sometimes preaching and talking and ministering. Anyway, it's all been a gift. And so just looking forward to continuing that in these summer months. So that's the end of our conversation for today. You want to say goodbye each?
Yeah, goodbye. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for this conversation, Father. It's such a joy to have a conversation like this, to process with each other, and hopefully everybody in our community can relate to one or more of us and what we've experienced these last months. So thanks for this chat.
Yeah, my heart's so full of gratitude for our community of faith. Whenever we need anything, they're there, and I'm particularly grateful to the Phone Connect volunteers under Karen, and just so many other little gestures from the community that have supported us during this time. The tithing, donations, everything's, I don't think I ever felt alone between the team and between the community of faith. So I'm just really grateful for that.
Yeah, I just hope everybody keeps well, and I'm sure I'll be seeing everybody a little bit more, although from 6 feet away.
As long as it's not 6 feet down.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, sister.
Well, there was a show called 6 Feet Under.
6 feet under. Yeah, that's right.
I forgot to mention, I think the thing I'm going to focus on this summer is really trying to grow my beard longer.
I was wondering when it was going to come up. Yeah.
By the time we're back in September, it'll be.
I don't think you saw me, Father, when you were talking about all of your contributions to, as a father in our community. I was like, the beard. That's a very unique contribution.
Well, it certainly came up time and again in the testimonies.
It's famous.
I don't know. Poor Jesus had a lot of competition with that beard.
Anyway, it's been a joy. God bless you all. Have a good summer months. So this weekend's newsletter will be the last of our June ones, and then we'll be sending out some messages in July. And continue to watch our social, our website, which is just great at this point, for further updates. We really hope you'll be able to connect with us in those ways, and just looking forward to seeing many of you as the weeks unfold in person and to be able to share life as a church and the Eucharist together. So talk to you soon. See you soon. Bye.